yes. Look at that. Greetings, and welcome to another LGR unboxing of something delightfully new old stock. And this right here is something I have never seen before, complete in the box like this, still sealed up. This is going to be really special. This is an IBM ThinkPad 380ED model 2635 6AU, which is a laptop notebook computer introduced in 1997, sold through 1998 before being withdrawn from the market. But you can see this one's actually put together on November 17th, 1997. And yeah, it's still in the box after all this time. How in the world did this happen? Well, this is all thanks to the generosity of an LGR patron named Matt Hirushka. He got in touch on the Patreon page for LGR and said, hey, I got this thing. It looks amazing, but I haven't opened it yet. Would you like the honor of opening it up on your channel? I'm like, are you kidding? Yeah, let me just go ahead and read over this letter here. Greetings from Santa Barbara, he says. I'm a bit of an IBM collector and amazingly came across this one a little bit ago. I'd gone back and forth on just storing it untouched or cracking it open and enjoying it. Decided that it's just too good of a find to sit on a shelf. I agree. So we'd like as many people to share in the unboxing as possible, with requests being to leave stickers and film intact if possible, but I can open it up and install some software, and also please install Doom on it. His special copy is included inside. This right here, look at that, registered copy of Doom. Yeah, oh yeah, there we go. So this is the mail-ordered registered copy of Doom, version 1.666. And I do have a copy of this myself, but awesome to have his on here. So this will be the first thing we're going to install on here, but of course I'm also expecting, I mean, just all sorts of cool things, because it's got Windows 95 and whatever IBM decided to install in there. Thing is, I don't know if this is actually going to work. Of course, there's only one way to find out, opening it up and plugging it in and turning it on. So we're going to go ahead and do that in just a second. But I do expect that, you know, maybe the batteries might not be going. There's the CMOS battery and of course the laptop battery itself. So who knows? We'll see. If you'd like to go ahead and skip straight to the unboxing, and go right here to this time code in the video. That's when the actual unboxing will start. But real briefly though, I just wanted to go over the specs of this thing so you know what it is we're getting into. So this is a printout from IBM's website, October 1998. Had been withdrawn from the market by that point, but yeah, Pentium MMX 166 CPU, fantastic. CD-ROM and a floppy drive, both integrated into the unit. That was one of the big selling points of this. Before that, you had to swap them out for the most part. And this version being the 6AU model, it's got a 3 GB hard disk and a 12.1-inch TFT color display. And of course, a Neomagic Magigraph 128ZV SVGA accelerator. That should be awesome. And 16 megs of memory installed, among all the other things on here. So anyway, and another thing I always try to figure out with these things is what it would have cost brand new, because, you know, the fact that it was sitting there, this one apparently was just in an office for like 23, 24 years or whatever, unopened, but bought brand new at some point. So like, how much did they spend to just never use it? Well, here's the original IBM price list I found from the announcement. So this is from 1997. This is this model right here, the 26356AU, $5,199. Imagine spending that much and then just never using the thing. Now this is the original suggested list price from IBM themselves to their business partners. So of course the street price was always lower. So this is an article from CNET announcing the same series of 380s, the ED and such. So they talk about the one with the 150 megahertz 2 gig hard drive costing $38.99. Of course, this is the ED with a 3 gig drive, so it was definitely more than $38.99. If I had to guess, maybe around $4,000, maybe a little more than that for this particular model, brand new. But of course, the street price. There were always discounts when you got them actually in a store or from a IBM business partner, either in person or ordered. So you can see one here that is this particular one, $36.49, and this was a little bit later. I think this was the end of 1997 or the beginning of 1998. I'm gonna say 4,000 bucks is probably what it cost. So yeah, that's enough. ogling the cardboard encased glory. It is just paper after all we're looking at, and it's the contents, all the electronical goodness that counts. So let's go ahead and open this up as carefully as possible and try to keep these things intact. And let's just unbox a brand new IBM ThinkPad. Alright, security seal is broken. It looks like these cardboard flaps just kind of come out. Ooh. 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 Oh, it is hard not to just go crazy here. So straight away we got a quick setup guide with that style of artwork IBM was using in the late 90s there. Quick setup guide provides you with information on how to set up your computer quickly. Well, gosh, I would hope so. Oh, look at that. Just numbers and pictures. Basically just put the battery in, plug it in, turn it on. Good times. And around back here, we got some other things here. Yeah, there's the startup thing if there's no OS installed. Hopefully we won't see that. An operating system screen. You can start computer operation. Look at that. Japanese versions of Windows 3.1 and OS 2. Okay, let me move my camera here so we can get a little better view of this. Oh yes. This is really neat to see all of these in their original distribution instead of just loose. So accessories, look at these. Got a new lithium-ion battery there. Who knows if that'll still hold a charge. Of course, the AC adapter and a nipple. Oh, a couple nipples. These are worth their weight in gold nowadays. Like, you used to be able to find these so easily. Now, to get this particular style of track point nub, it can be rather difficult. The rounded ones with the fuzzy kind of sandpapery texture. Anyway, like, you can still get them. They're just not as easy to find on their own anymore. And here we go. Ooh, a substantial portion of paperwork. PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battleground group. Tips for using your IBM ThinkPad comfortably and safely. Yeah, don't use it inside of a volcano, don't drop it off a cliff, that kind of stuff. And lift this out of the way. Ooh. Yeah. Software, I'm assuming, more documentation. Oh, and the ThinkPad. Oh, that came right out of there, so that glue has deteriorated. It's kind of nice, actually. I like not having to cut it apart or tear it open or anything. Yeah, look at all this stuff. Let's see what we got here, man. A little booklet thingy. International Service Information. It's just phone numbers for all the IBM places around the world. Okay. And got some stickers. Need help? Wow. 4 of them. If you really need help, just stick them all over the office. A special offer inside. A special offer in the form of registering. Did you get anything for registration? Looks like you did. For completing and returning the attached thingy, IBM will send you a nameplate you can place in the cover indentation to personalize your IBM computer. Now that's cool. Look at that. A custom nameplate on a ThinkPad. Anybody do that? Let me know in the comments. Oh man, and all kinds of ads. So, sure. CompuServe, of course. Premier Protection for IBM, whatever. Artisoft Co-Session Remote. Access your PC from anywhere at any time. AOL 3.0, 50 free hours. Yeah, I remember these diner ads. Ooh, never seen this exact little brochure pamphlet thing. It's a little larger than the ones I got in the mail. Some license agreement stuff. A whole bunch more license agreement stuff. Well, yeah. IBM. Hints and tips for using a PC card. Indeed. PCM CIA. Neat. Read me first. Thanks for purchasing an IBM ThinkPad. You're welcome. I totally purchased this. Recovery CDs stuff. Okay, that's awesome too. I'm going to image that. That can be rather hard to find, some of these ThinkPad recovery things. Find a lot of the drivers and software on their own, but having the original media or like even copies of it is Yeah, what we got here? Additional information. CardWorks, CardSoft, CardWizard, a lot of the PC card programs. Cool. Personal carrying cases for ThinkPad. These are kind of hard to find too. I've been trying to find one for my 380XD. Haven't yet found one. Not the originals anyway. Like, look at these things. With like the cool leather ThinkPad badge and everything. Here's a full overview, just a list of all of them, in case anybody's curious. Looks like the most expensive one is the executive leather one, $280 US. And now, of course, the star of the show. I mean, it's all the star, but this is like the star among stars. Oh man, this is crazy. Just seeing one of these that hasn't been touched. They're always in such, not always, but they're usually in pretty terrible shape because of the materials that they used on the outside. They get all gouged up and scratched up and kind of, they fall apart, and just, it's weird seeing one still in the plastic. IBM Styrofoam. Ooh, what is this? Important. Read before removing. I suppose we will. Before breaking the seal and license stuff. Yeah. Well, I accept everything in 1997's agreements. Now, can we keep this intact? I have my doubts. This is a pretty big sticker, so let's just try our best to keep it looking half okay. All right, man, I feel like I need gloves for this. We get some gloves. Nobody wants excited computer geek hand juice on their new ThinkPad. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, that is incredible. That is by far the best looking ThinkPad 380 series I have ever seen. And I've seen a good few of them. I've had probably 4 or 5 of these things over the years. Only one ED, and that was a long time ago. This, oh man, yeah, I'll have it out next to my 380 XD here in a bit so you can get an idea, but suffice to say, they never look this good. Oh, fresh ports. Oh, look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. So yeah, it really has that classic late 90s computer smell. It's like a slightly acrid, you know, you can tell it's degrading. It doesn't smell as good as it would have completely brand new. It almost hits the back of your throat in like a peppery way. That's just the plastics and other various electronics, the rubbery coating that it has on here. It's just that smell. I don't know, if you smelled it, you know what it is. Not a bad smell, but not like that new car smell that you get with certain things that are sealed up incredibly well. But yeah, just, man, all this being so nice underneath. These get so scuffed up so easily because, you know, they're reused very harshly for, you know, at least a good 10 years. You know, that Windows 95 blue sticker there, I really like that. And again, untouched, not scuffed. All those clean battery connectors and everything. Oh, this is where the RAM will be, and there should be a CMOS battery in there that we may have to replace. We might. I will go ahead and do that if I have the battery on hand and we need to. Yeah, there is really one of the biggest selling points of this. You got the slim CD-ROM and slim 3.5-inch high-density drive right there, integrated in one so you don't have to swap out the units. So this was one of, if not the first ThinkPads in this price range to do that. Because yeah, you'd only get one or the other. On the previous ones, we got 2 PCM-CIA PC card slots, a wonderful power button that's never been used, PS2 mouse and AC adapter there. Nice to see one of those AC connections that is not complete crap. Those things fall apart. There we go. I don't want to get any scuffed at all, even on my wood tabletop. So let's see what we got here. Look at this. Oof. Yeah. Ooh, that's a sight to behold. Brand new TrackPoint nub. Untouched keyboard. Got the fantastic black Pentium MMX badge there. I've always loved the way that looks. A lot of these you see that badge has been removed. Yeah, really enjoy the keyboards on these. They're quite nice. Nothing mechanical, of course, but they feel good. These are solid things to type on and work on, game on. And then, of course, this display. Lovely TFT. We got the brightness right there. Absolutely pristine. Wild to see one of these with no like scuffs or scrapes or just anything that normally happens to these after 23 years. Got the little microphone right there. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we knew it was going to be gorgeous, but yeah, this is wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and get it plugged in, turned on, see if the batteries are still doing their thing. Got my doubts, but who knows? You never know. Like sometimes the CMOS will be okay if it's just sitting in there not being used. This, I don't know. Let's hope that it all just works wonderfully though. And try out this delightful 1997 380 ED for the first time since it was in the factory in 97. Ah, this is a good day. Okay, so that is the AC adapter and a power cable ready to go, and the lithium-ion battery ready to install, or at least try it out and see if it works. And yeah, I almost forgot about the other package of documentation. All the stuff that is in here. And inside of there, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. We'll just briefly go over here. So we got the main user's guide, hundreds of pages, some additional information about the ThinkPad, Lotus Smart Suite 97, Windows 95 OSR2, ThinkPad options guide, and the recovery CD-ROM and such inside a little package. And yeah, in there you have a CD, as well as a boot disk, so you can boot your computer and then get into CD-ROM support and do the recovery stuff for the system. Oh man, and I was really hoping to be able to image this CD, but this is something I've never seen before. The plastic of the CD sleeve is basically adhered to the actual CD itself. It's just stuck on there. I guess heat over time has stuck the two together to the point where I was not able to get it out of there, at least not confidently and safely. And it actually looks like some of the plastic had started to pull away at the data side of the disk as well. I'm just not even gonna touch it or image this. I just can't get it out of there safely, so I'm gonna leave it to Matt to do whatever he wants with it. But yeah, that's all that. Let's go ahead and finally just turn the thing on and get the battery in there first, just to see if it works. And the power right back here. Ooh, I saw lights. All right, moment of truth. Ooh. Hey. We get a 161 and a 163 error. That is completely expected. So that means we do have a dead CMOS battery, and we can actually get the computer going just fine without that battery. We just put in the information that it needs here. But instead, I'm actually going to see if I have a replacement for it. Okay. Ooh, nice and tight screw. I swear I'm not trying to sound dirty with this, it just kind of happens. Okay, hey, there we go. So that is where you would expand the memory, and then there's a little coin cell. What is that? A CR1220. So it's a little bit of a smaller boy. Yep, there's that. Little Sony CR1220, 3 volt, a bit smaller than the 2032s. So I do happen to have some of these. And there we go. Nice and simple. Awesome. All right, so let's hope that is the only thing that we're gonna have to do. I'm assuming it is. All right, so 173 error, which means we'll have to go into the, yeah, so we got the time to fix and then just general BIOS stuff. Y2K compatibility. Hey Flurbnerp, what time is it?
It's 12:36 p.m.
Okay. So that's that. And I don't think we'll have to do anything else on here, but this is the BIOS. I always like the little custom Flapping Bird mouse cursor and things that they got in here. All right, and now hopefully we shouldn't have any errors on startup. Nope, none at all. Excellent. Oh, Windows 95. Never been booted. Oh, this is nuts, man. It's just been sitting there since 1997, 98, more likely. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to register it to myself, so I don't know. You can change this later, but I'm just going to... Okay, so I got the serial. That'll be in the documentation. All right. Windows 95 saved all information. Oh, dude. Okay, let's get some sound right there, because why not? I'm going to put my time zone, because that's where I am anyway. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever actually done an OEM first time setup thing for Windows 95. I usually just install it fresh myself. Well, not usually, always. The fact that we're doing it through like a factory installation thing. Wow. Oh, so yeah, this is just how it came from the factory. Look at all the things. All this stuff right over here is just your standard Windows 95. Then you have complete ThinkPad customization, Netscape, and IBM's global network. Okay. Pointcast, preloaded applications, 380E presentation. ThinkPad information, ThinkPad tools, uninstall the 380E demo, register the device, and just something called ThinkPad. Let's just open that. Oh, okay. Fuel. All right, so we got some battery stuff right there. I guess showing the charge level, or that it is charging. That's cool. Personalization editor. What? Some sort of background generator, wallpaper? That's that. So register, that's pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to do that. ThinkPad tools. Okay, IBM antivirus, emergency recovery utility, registration, card works, diskette factory. That's probably the thing that allows you to recreate diskettes from images. You can just make your own set of backup disks for a lot of the things that it uses. All right, preloaded applications. We got CompuServe, IBM Online House Call, Netfinity, good old Transit for parallel and serial transfer stuff. Pointcast, I'm assuming infrared maybe, Netscape and IBM's global network. A lot of online things and different connectivity, but that is to be expected considering the intended use case of this. Complete ThinkPad customization will restart the system. I don't want to do that yet. Let's see what's in the presentation here. Welcome to the IBM ThinkPad presentation. It highlights the most important features. Starts a video and will run continuously until a key is pressed. Okay. Well, I'm excited by the prospect of videos. Oh.
IBM ThinkPad. Portability. Versatility.
This is wonderful.
Quality. Innovation. ThinkPad. A better place to think.
Uh-huh.
Travel, work.
Man, the 90s-ness of it. Good grief. So yeah, those speakers sound pretty good, considering.
Convenience.
You know, they're never particularly great speakers on this series of ThinkPads, but they at least don't sound blown out and crunchy like a lot of them I've heard, because over the years they just deteriorate, go bad. These sound pretty good.
Now, ThinkPad. A better place to think.
All right.
The IBM ThinkPad. It's small enough to fit in your briefcase, affordable enough to suit your budget. The ThinkPad. For home, for work, for travel. It gives you the performance and quality you demand at an attractive price you'll appreciate.
Affordable, huh?
Say hello to the notebook computer that's got it all. Cool screen. Hot sound. Neat keyboard. And all at an incredibly affordable price.
Notice they never said the price, because it's like $4,000. At least for this one. You could get one, obviously less than that, but this is supposed to be sort of a mid-range entry for IBM, but amongst its competitors from other companies, it was still more expensive than those. However, you paid for that ThinkPad quality, so what you gonna do, right? Oh yeah, look at all these, all the bloats. I mean, included programs that are totally useful. All right, yeah, look at all the things on here. Oh man, these are all the discs right here. These will be like image files, and yeah, look at that. So you can use that utility to just write your own recovery discs. Very, very handy stuff. All right, system properties. IBM logo nicely displayed there. COM2 is disabled. And got that classic Crystal plug-and-play audio system. Let's see what we got for resources. Interesting. 22510 for the IRQ and DMA. Let's see if we can put that sound to the test really quick. Wait a second. I have not opened Canyon. I was seriously about to do that. It's already in the recently opened documents list. I guess that was like, what's this other thing? Just README for Windows. And Canyon. Those are the two things that were previously opened, I guess, by IBM at the factory. Because, yeah, I haven't actually opened anything on here yet. Awesome. Yeah, it's that weird crystal chip. Certain sounds always sound a little off. They're just kind of like when they should be a smooth pad or synthy sound. Anyway, I guess let me just open this and then we'll boot back into Windows and get some Doom going. I don't know what it's doing. It restarted the computer to do the customization program, but oh, here we go. Here we go. What did this do? Okay. So it's added mouse trails, it's made the cursor bigger, it's gave us a custom background. So I guess when they meant customization, they meant like, here's the IBM stuff instead of just that factory clean look. I mean, that's kind of cool, but that's not exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting to choose what it would customize. This is just like, here's what we recommend, I guess, from IBM. All right, put that back at least. I mean, I dig the background, but so anyway, okay. Well, let's go ahead and get some Doom installed. I'm just going to assume the sound is set up in DOS mode. Let's see. And we could have just installed it in Windows 95, but hey, we can do it in more pure DOS if we can. All right, so it does. CS4232 stuff going there with the settings we saw earlier. Ooh, this is special. Putting a disc in there for the first time. Ooh. Excellent. By the way, I've already backed up all the contents of the hard disk just really quick earlier, so I want to make sure that I had all of that copied off there before we started modifying stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't do it before the IBM thing did its customization deal in Windows, but anyway. Enjoy some floppy disk and hard disk noises. Nice. Let's get the Sound Blaster stuff selected. Oh yeah. There we go. Running great, as you would expect. Okay. I know you're over here. Where are you? Jerk. There we go. Now you will notice the black border around this. This is not a 640 by 480 screen. 800 by 600 native. By default, you get these black borders around anything that is over 640 by 480. Or in this case, 320 by 200. I believe there is a way to force it to stretch, but I've been sitting here racking my brain and can't for the life of me remember what the key combo is. Future LGR here. A quick update on that. Yeah, it's function F8, and that will do the stretching for the display on the 380 series, among others. It's not terribly great looking interpolation, but in movement, it's pretty okay. At least in something like this. Now, if I were to go over into, games with crispier 2D graphics, it looks truly terrible, as does text. But anyway, function F8. That's what it is, for your information and also for mine, because I always forget that. Alright, so that is Doom, the inaugural Doom kickoff. A wonderful way to begin this delightful ThinkPad's life. But yeah, I suppose that's pretty much it, really, just in terms of like, hey, here's a ThinkPad, it works, it's beautiful, it's brand new, effectively. Let's actually see if the other battery is charging. Hey, we've got power. It says 80% remaining. Who knows what kind of longevity it'll actually have, but that's awesome. So the included battery pack for the system itself is working and charging up. That is a rare sight indeed. I've never actually seen one of those that works. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. I plugged the power back in and it freaked out. Anyway, I was gonna say, I've actually seen one of those original batteries that worked that hadn't been, rebuilt or anything like that. But, I guess the fact that it had never actually been used gave it a better chance. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised by that it holds a charge as well as it is. All right, and a couple other things I've got to try out, and of course, this being the show that it is, we've got to check out Duke 3D Atomic Edition. Let's try the CD-ROM. That's a fresh-looking tray. Yeah, that's right. I'm not running any cracks here. We've got the original CD running from the CD-ROM because we got to use it. It's a new CD-ROM. That's special. And I'm just kind of running in 640 by 480 mode, which this machine is more than capable of doing with its awesome CPU and stuff. A little bit of slowdown as it loads from the hard disk, but so it goes. There we go.
Come get some. Dang, busy and bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Yeah. Runs quite good with that Pentium 166. Obviously not going to be making any use of MMX, but it doesn't matter. Duke Nukem. One thing I did notice, though, is it definitely seems to support Sound Blaster Original just fine, or like a Sound Blaster clone. It didn't want to work at all with the Sound Blaster 16 selected in the options, and Sound Blaster Pro 2 also didn't work, but anything lower than that did. So, you know, that's just down to the Crystal sound chip. There we go. Anyway, looks good, sounds good, runs good, just Duke Nukem. Got no complaints. And yeah, nothing special about the graphics chip at all. In fact, I think it's only like a 1.125 meg video RAM thing. It's not a 3D accelerator, but I do want to try a 3D game pod. Seeing as it is a system from 1997, we may as well try a game from 1997. One of my absolute favorites. Now I have this installed already with the largest installation, so we have the max amount of data on the hard drive, and it is the MMX enhanced mode of the game. So there's no 3D acceleration. It's not even doing direct 3D. This is just going to be in software, but running with the MMX technology going on.
It'll be over soon. Everything will be gone and this place will be forgotten.
Not by me, it won't. So this is Pod. This is always my go-to test for a system from like 1997 to 99, and like no earlier, no later, because this game is so tricky to run, even on original hardware like this. And yeah, it's not going to run great. As you can see, it's just skipping around and everything, and oh man, there it is. You can't change the graphical options because we're not running any kind of acceleration. So let's just get into a race real quick. Yeah, it's trying its best, it really is. But this particular processor and this really crappy 2D graphics chip in there, just not enough. You would need either a better graphics chip, obviously that'd be very helpful, or a decently quicker CPU. A 233 megahertz Pentium MMX or Pentium 2, AMD K6, or your equivalent Cyrix chip. Those are pretty much ideal for this game. However, you go much faster than that, the game doesn't work. You go much slower than this, and well, it's going to be complete anus in terms of the performance. So, yeah. But hey, I mean, it's playable, I suppose. Just not very great at all. And honestly, that's what I expected from this when in software mode on this processor and all the other things that are in there. 16 megs of RAM, you know, 32 would be a little bit better, just marginally. It just really helps the loading and some of that chopping and skippiness. Okay, and for one final thing here, before we wrap up this video, I'm going to bring out my own 380 series, or one of them, my favorite one I own anyway. This is the 380 XD. I restored on LGR some years back. Yeah. So as you can see, externally they are, of course, very similar looking. It's the internals that are the most different. That crazy delay effect, kind of a stereo thing going on. That's an interesting sound in person. Anyway, yeah, externally they do look very similar. Of course, they're in the same 380 series of ThinkPads from IBM in 1997. It's just this one is like about 10 times better condition than mine. I mean, this one's still pretty nice. I cleaned it up well, but yeah, it doesn't have the Pentium sticker. I wish it did. I love that sticker. And it has a bunch of things that are sort of mixed around just in different positions compared to the ED. So the microphone and the speakers are in different spots on mine here. The volume switch, or the knob, is on the left side instead of the right side, so they're like touching over there. Ooh. And then a bunch of other things are just sort of shifted around and slightly tweaked and upgraded. The monitor panels, I think they're slightly different panels Like this one's a little warmer and it just, I don't know, looks slightly different to me, but they are the same specs, still 800 by 600 TFTs. Oh, 3D maze. I'll just let the screensaver go for a sec then. But yeah, anyway, the biggest difference is the internals, where the 3D XD on the right, that has a Pentium 233 megahertz MMX processor and 32 megs of RAM by default instead of 16. And it also supports more RAM, faster RAM. It's got a USB port. You can more easily replace the hard disk. It comes with a bigger hard disk. Just all sorts of lovely little additions that just made it a better thing in late 1997, early 1998. And for that reason, I just think it's really cool to see them side by side. And let's test pod once again with both of them, because we can. We're going to be running the exact same executables here, same version, same everything, the MMX mode. Obviously this one's loading much faster. It's just faster all around. Okay, we'll just get the same car, same track, same settings as we had earlier and get them side by side. See what we got going on. Yeah, so obviously the 380 XD is just so much better, even though they came out the same year. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, whoa, I am so not paying attention to the right screens at this right time. This is bizarre. My brain cannot brain right now. Despite being such similar computers, the performance difference is crazy. And again, running the exact same mode, same executable, same MMX instructions, same full hard disk installation, version of the game, everything. Ah! Oh, how did I throw my car off the side of both of them? I did, though. So what was the point of this? I don't know, I just thought it was kind of fun. And I like Pod, and I like playing it on any computer from 97, 98, or the Pentium MMX or equivalent. It's just good times. My idea of a fun afternoon. Well, I guess that is it for this video, for real this time. This has been a real delight and an honor to mess around with this new old stock 380 ED. Thanks once again to Mr. Harushka for getting in touch, letting me know that he'd come across this and offering to let me unbox it for all of y'all to see. I think it's always great when something this awesome gets to be experienced by thousands of people instead of just one or two in person. These things deserve to be shared and preserved. Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to do that. And you know, just being able to get a little bit more familiar and get a little more experience with one of my favorite series of computers is just a blast. I don't know if that's come across in this video, but I have been having so much fun messing around with this, and I'm going to continue to have some fun with it throughout the rest of the time that I've got with it before I send it back here in a day or two. It's just an experience that I am thankful to have had and to have been able to document and share with you. So if you enjoyed, do check out some of my other videos on various things. I've covered plenty of ThinkPads and all sorts of IBM stuff on LGR over the years, with new videos each week on various topics. So stick around for more if you'd like. And as always, thank you for watching.